Welcome to another video here at Rick Shaves. Alright guys, so before I forget, don't you forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification to be alerted to all future videos that I post. With that being said, let's get into the shave. And as the title says, this is a time travel shave. This is my high school shave, guys. The gear and products I used in high school, or at least gear that's compatible to what I used in high school, because those of you who watch the channel know that I've said in the past that in high school I used a Gillette Sensor XL. That's why I used all the way through the, almost to the 2000s or early 2000s. And then I went to a Mach 3 and I used that for years. Okay, but if you go on eBay and you look up the Gillette Sensor XL handles, the vintage ones, they are really expensive. Some of them, I've seen them go from like $50 to like over $100. Okay, so I just searched the internet, I searched eBay, and I found this. It is a knockoff of the Gillette Sensor XL handle, and it says here, it says it's compatible for the Sensor, the XL, and the Sensor 3. And believe me, I've tried this handle on all three of those blades, and they all fit, and they fit very well. So this works, guys. And, it is essentially a Gillette Sensor XL. Okay. This has actually has some really good weight to it. It has some heft. This top portion here is metal. Of course, it has some metal in the handle here. It has those rubberized grip there. And it just says shaver. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. But it just says shaver on the side there. And again, it's a knockoff version of the Gillette Sensor XL. And I found it was only like $9 or $10 with tax. I will definitely post this the link for this in the description below, so don't worry about it. I'll go ahead and take care of that for you so you know where you find it. And the sellers show like they've sold over like 1,300 of these or something like that. Over 1,000, I know that, of these particular things. And it works. I'll show you here. Okay, I have some Gillette Sensor XL cartridge heads here. Pops in. It's on there. Yeah, does the pivot and all that. It's on there pretty good. So that's going to work. Again, the Sensor XL was the one that came later, I believe in 93, I think. I'll have to check that. But anyways, so the Sensor XL here has the microfin rubber strip, has that lubricating strip, twin blades. And yeah, guys, wow, this is really taking me back because it has that heft that the Sensor XL had. And this was what I used all through high school. And yeah, so that's the razor, guys. I found this on eBay and was really cheap. Okay, not like the vintage ones that can get kind of pricey. Okay, now you can still find the Sensor XL, the cartridge heads, and they're a little pricey. I think for like 10 of them you can get for right around like anywhere from like maybe right around $15, maybe a little lower, give or take, but you just gotta shop around. But ultimately, if you wanted to use that kind of still wanted to shave that way, this is definitely a great alternative because it fits all of those blades. And I know they sell a few other handles that fit these types of cartridge heads, but they don't look like the old Sensor XL did. So that's what I'm so psyched about, because that's what it really feels like. Okay, the shave cream. Now I use Barbasol, and I also use this one, Gillette Foamy. My uncle actually used this quite a bit. He used this and he used Noxzema, and I would just use his stuff. So whenever I ran out or I just, you know, it was there on the counter, he used to use this, but I think he used the regular one. He used the sensitive skin one that this is, but either way, it's Gillette Foamy, and I used that in high school as well. I also used, I believe near the end of high school, I used like the Edge shave gel. I used that in like the early 2000s too, in my early 20s and stuff like that. But here's one that did come out in the 90s. I believe it came out in 94 if I'm not mistaken, guys, and it's the Aqua Velva Ice Sport. This one was like the newest Aqua Velva back then when I was in high school. You know, it come out and it didn't smell like, it doesn't smell like Ice Blue, which isn't a bad smell. It's not my favorite one from them, but this one definitely smells different, and it's a little bit lighter of a smell, but it's also kind of more, not I hate to say that old manish kind of smell that Ice Blue has. This one doesn't. This was more meant to be for like the younger guys who are kind of active and on the move. That's why it was the Ice Sport, you know, but great stuff, guys. Kind of just has a fresh, clean aqua kind of scent to it. But here's the kicker. This was the one that I was waiting for to come in so I could do this shave, and it's this After Fresh. This is the aftershave lotion. This stuff, you know, by Memon, you know, this stuff was some of the first aftershave lotion I ever had, because my skin would feel like it was drying out really bad. And so my mom bought me some of this and some of the Gillette aftershave lotion. But this one I used like, oh man, I used this through high school, through the early 2000s, and I'm still using it today. So, and it's a great scent as well. We'll get into that here a little bit. But that's the shave, guys. Time travel shave. My high school shave. I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. Let's go ahead and get into the shave. Enough talking. Let's get to shaving. Already did my pre-shave routine. Took a shower. Washed my beard. I only have a couple days of growth. I saw that I got some new subscribers to the channel, so welcome to the channel, guys. I appreciate you watching, appreciate having your sub, appreciate your comments, you know. And just so you know, guys, I do have a beard, okay? I do grow some hair. Now, I mentioned in the past, I have some bald patches here. I have a condition called alopecia, and it's an autoimmune condition, and I can't really do anything about it. So, you know, I'm trying, you know, to try and fix that, but until then, I don't grow hair there. So if it looks like I don't really grow a beard on camera, trust me, I do have, you know, almost 3 days worth of growth here, and I can see in the mirror it's pretty substantial. So, but just so y'all know, I do actually grow hair. And I typically shave every day, okay? So for work and stuff like that, because I want to look, you know, presentable and professional and stuff like that. All right, let's go ahead and use some of this Gillette Foamy here. I only need a little bit, don't need a lot. Now, I like this smell, the smell of this one, a little bit better than the Barbasol, the original Barbasol. But that sensitive, the sensitive skin one smelled pretty good too, so. Goes on pretty easily. Try not to put a whole thick amount of it. I'm so used to having that, you know, lustrous beard of lather, thick lather. With carts, I know you're supposed to use, you know, kind of a lighter cream. You know, you're not supposed to pile it on. So again, I haven't shaved with carts in almost 10 years, guys. I just started doing it again to kind of highlight them on the channel. But yeah, this is definitely a cart that I want to highlight for sure. Definitely a cartridge razor that I have to highlight for sure. Oh, and the retro shirt I'm wearing today. Yeah, that's right. Ghostbusters, guys. One of my favorite franchises from the 80s. I love the first one. Second one was okay. And we went and saw the third one, Afterlife. Yeah, that's right. The third one. Okay. Afterlife. We went and saw that one in the theaters not too long ago. And it was actually really surprised me, okay? It really surprised me. It was, I think, a kind of good way to pass the torch for a new kind of revitalizing of the franchise. All right, here we go. High school shave. See how this works. Yeah, it feels just like I remember. Really good first pass there so far. Get this neck area here. I really enjoy the twin blades. I mean, back then that's really all we had till the Mach 3 came out. That I remember. I don't know who was first. You know, who was first in that race, you know, to put another blade in there. Was it Gillette? Was it, Schick, or, one of these other razor companies? I don't know. I just remember the Mach 3. I used that for like years. And it was okay. It was a decent razor, but I missed this. I didn't need 3. I really didn't. This was more than enough back in the day. You see, and one of the things was that I had to shave actually quite frequently in high school because I was in ROTC. So it was like the junior military program that they have at the high schools. I did that for 2 years, and so whenever you have inspection, had to wear your uniform, stuff like that, you had to shave. You had to be clean shaven. And then I played golf as well. Now, some of you might think, oh, well, why didn't you play football? Because I'm a pretty big guy, and they wanted me to, but when I was in middle school, I blew out my knee pretty bad, and it just never was the same. And so I just didn't want to injure myself or something that, I wasn't going to go pro or anything like that. I wouldn't have been in the NFL or gotten a college scholarship for it, trust me. I was okay, but I wasn't like, I wasn't that kind of player. Try the mustache area. See how that feels. Feels pretty good. Gets under the nose really well. Lubrication strips working pretty good. Yeah, guys. So like I said, in high school I had to shave quite frequently for that ROTC stuff. And this is what I used. And I loved it. I loved shaving with this thing. Wow. God, that feels, from just memory, okay? I don't have one to compare it, guys, but this is as close as I could get without spending, lots of money to buy a real one. Again, I'll post this in the link in the description, the link for it in the description below. But wow, yeah, first pass. Now, back in the day, that was all I needed to do because my beard wasn't what it is now. You know, I didn't have a man's beard. I had a young man's beard. Still don't have a man's beard. But yeah, guys, those of you that know me or I've mentioned in the past, I love vintage retro stuff. Again, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, graduated in 2001 from high school, and you know, so for me, that's the era I grew up in. 80s and 90s. Second pass here. Yeah, and I love everything from that time period. You know, I was watching a video the other day just to, it's by I'll link his channel in the description below. It's called Company Man, but he does videos on like all kinds of companies that, you know, that either are still around or have, you know, gone the way of the dodo. But he did one on Blockbuster, and it's called The Decline of Blockbuster video. And that really brought me back because, you know, Blockbuster, that was one of those things, one of those places. Now, we had two. We had Blockbuster and we had Hollywood Video in the area where I live. So, and as a matter of fact, Hollywood Video went out of business and Blockbuster took them over, took over their spaces or something like that. So they kind of beat them out. I'm going to do a up pass on the neck here. Feels really good. Golly, it's like shaving with the Sensor XL again. Pretty smooth. But anyway, so he was doing, you know, just talking about the, you know, what happened, how they went out of business and how they were kind of late to the show on the whole, you know, streaming online thing, and, you know, and the fact that they actually, I think, had a chance to buy Netflix at one time and they didn't go through with it. So that was actually pretty interesting to find out. But anyways, but yeah, it just brought back a lot of nostalgia because he talked about like it being an experience, you know, going to the video rental place. And I'm like, yeah, like I remember doing that as a kid. I remember going there and getting some movies, renting an NES game, a Nintendo NES game. And yeah, I had the original NES. We had an Atari, and we had an NES. My sister Christy, she's a little older than me. She had an Atari, and I ended up playing it too when I was a little kid, because we had it for a while, and then somewhere in the 80s, you know, when I was probably around 6, I think 6 or 7. My dad got me a Nintendo. And I remember going to the video store, Blockbuster or Hollywood, whichever one. We went to both. I remember going there, getting movies and getting a game. And then we would go and usually pick up pizza or something like that. We used to go to Little Caesars all the time because it was like one of the cheapest places you could get pizza was from Little Caesars, and they're still around to this day. Unfortunately, we can't say that about Blockbuster, but yeah, guys, pretty good, pretty close, you know, kind of that against the grain, cross against kind of thing. It's knocking off the hair really good. Under the neck, I think I got a little weeper over here, you know. But that's my problematic area, it happens. Cross on the mustache. That's really good. Two blades does the job, guys. You know, 3 I think was the max. Like, is the max I would go and say, like, to be fair, you know, for modern day cartridges, I would say 3 is the max that I would want to go. Yeah, it's really good. Feels really good all around. Very smooth, very comfortable. Okay, let me do this final little cleanup pass here under my neck. Just to get, it's pretty smooth to begin with. It feels pretty good under there, but I want to just do a little bit of a cleanup, get a little closer, because the cheeks and all that, all this up here is good. It's that neck area that is where it's, you know, more thicker, coarser, kind of more problematic. So just trying to get a little bit of a closer shave there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, guys. High school shave, God. Going back in time, reminiscing. Put in the comment section below, guys. What did you use in high school? What were some of your fondest memories of being in high school? You know, mine were, I was a kind of a wrestling geek. And that was kind of like that Attitude Era of WWF or WWE now. So it's kind of that more risque, raunchy kind of one. And, you know, the Monday Night Wars and stuff were going on. I watched wrestling from middle school through high school. And then I kind of just lost interest in it after I left high school. And then I kind of gained interest in it again and lost interest. Now I'm kind of just like, yeah, not really, not really watching it too much, or if at all. Most of the guys I knew back in the day, they're all old and retired now, or left, or they're passed on, you know. Wow, yeah, pretty good. Feels really good. Wow, really smooth under the neck there. All right. Yeah, put in the comment section below, guys. You know, your favorite memories from high school. What you used to shave with. Gonna do a cold water rinse now. Ooh, baby, that's cold. What were some of your favorite movies back then? From the 80s and 90s, if you grew up in there or you like that era. I do. I know every generation says, no, my era was the greatest for movies and music and stuff like that, but I'm sorry, guys. The 80s, especially the 80s for music and movies, and the 90s. I just have to, you know, I'm a little biased. Sorry. But, you know, I think some of the best movies and music came out during those time periods, so that's me. But, all right, guys. Really close, comfortable shave. I said I had a weeper here and it already stopped bleeding. That's kind of one of the good thing about, you know, the cartridge razors. I did that with a DE, you know, depending on how bad I cut myself, you know, I might had to use something to make it stop. But normally cartridges, you don't cut yourself too bad, if at all. But wow, yeah, this is smooth, guys. Smooth, comfortable, really presentable. Just an all-around great shave, and just as I remember. Now, back in the day, of course, I didn't do 2 passes. I didn't have to, but oh, come on now, this stuff here, guys, that is epic 90s aftershave right there. And again, it came out in the 90s, 94, I believe, is when they came out with this Ice Sport. No sting. Now, both of these aftershaves, they do have alcohol in them. That usually lets you have some feedback, but yeah, it's just that nice, clean, fresh, I like Aqua kind of smell. I know it's called Aqua Velva, but that aquatic kind of smell to it, guys, it's just really nice. And it pairs well with the After, because the After, the fresh scent, I believe I have some original coming in as well, but the fresh one had a very unique scent to it. And I use this stuff all the time too, back in the day in high school or whatever, especially if my skin felt dried out from the Barbasol or whatever. This one doesn't really do that. Like my skin actually feels really good right now. Doesn't feel like it's dried out or you know, feeling super tight or anything. It just feels nice and hydrated, and it has a nice cooling effect that this Ice Sport provides. Just a little bit of this stuff here, guys. The After Fresh. It has, now it's described as a fresh, clean, masculine scent. And that really is the best way to describe it, because I could not tell you what the scent profile is. I tried looking up. If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section below. But it has a really, I like the smell of this. It does. It's fresh, clean, and masculine. It kind of has like this fresh, clean, it's not really a musk kind of scent. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. Again, it's hard to describe, but that's how they describe it, is like this fresh, clean, masculine scent. And that really is the best way to put it. Wow. Wow. That is a close, comfortable shave, guys. Very, very comfortable and close. Wow. And that takes me back. Wow. All right. Quick recap, guys. High school shave, the Gillette Sensor XL. Now, of course, again, this isn't the actual Sensor XL, but for our purposes, from my memory, it feels just like it. That is the Sensor XL head, though, the cartridge head. So it is a Sensor XL shave. And this pretty much looks like one, feels like one. You know, performed like one. So I'm gonna call it a very, very good reproduction or knockoff version of the Sensor XL at, you know, $9 or $10 with tax or something like that. Again, I'll put the link in the description below where you find it on eBay. I was looking for one, and this was the only one that came up, guys. And it did well. The Sensor XL heads do very good. You know, the only difference between the Sensor and the Sensor XL was that rubberized microfin strip that the XL comes with. You know, so if you don't like that, you know, they still sell the Sensor, and of course they sell the Sensor 3, which I'm not really a big fan of. I think these two are the two are more than enough. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, for my beard, my skin, absolutely fantastic shave, one of the best. Here we go. Oh wait, let's do the shave cream here. It's, you know, it actually performed pretty well, the Gillette Foamy. Again, my uncle used to have a can of this and Noxzema. Those were the two he used. And I didn't like the Noxzema, but anytime he had this stuff, I would use it because it did, if I remember correctly, it did make my skin feel a little bit better than the Barbasol crap that I used to have. And now, epic 90s aftershave, guys. This was I think maybe because, you know, they wanted to have something, again, that was more, you know, modern, because the ice blue had been around for like ever almost. I mean, it had been around for decades prior to the 90s. So when this came out, I think it was just one of those kind of things where they're like, you know, we want to have something more modern, doesn't smell like, you know, ice blue. It has that Aqua clean, fresh scent to it, you know, kind of more sporty kind of thing for the guy on the go, or the guy, you know, doing activities and sports and stuff. And then some of this shave lotion here, man, the After Fresh, guys. This was some good stuff. This very, very iconic 90s high school shave for me, guys. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for going down memory lane with me on this one. I do promise I am going to get back to my DE razors. I just had to get this one out because I was really excited about these products. And y'all know I like retro vintage stuff. I like nostalgia. And this was a great shave. I had a lot of fun doing it. All right, guys. Don't forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification to be alerted to all future videos that I post in the future. All right, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.